All right, what do you got for us?
Well, I figured, you know what? I'm going to look at some of these Oscar winners. I was just bored. I'm looking at Oscar winners, and I'm looking at some of these years, and I'm saying, why did that win? So all I want to do is ask you, this was the winner, this was the competitor, who do you think should have won?
Okay.
So the first year that I'm going to choose is 1994. So the winner was Forrest Gump.
Okay.
Forrest Gump was pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay. But the losers were Pulp Fiction and Shawshank Redemption. Now, really, some people could say this is a three-way tie.
They could, but they had to pick a winner.
Yes.
And at the time, what probably set it apart was Forrest Gump was groundbreaking in the fact that they interacted a character with historical figures and made it look like they were there. Mm-hmm. It's one of the first times it was ever done. So he was there with Nixon, and he was there during the war. And so I think that's probably why it stepped above others, because of the technical aspect of the film as well.
But look at Pulp Fiction, which was filmed out of order. And you look at Shawshank Redemption, which is often considered one of the best movies of all time.
It is. But I can see why they gave it to Forrest Gump.
Okay.
So I won't argue that one, even though if I was voting, I might have gone Shawshank. And all three are one of my favorite movies.
Does anybody think it should not have been Forrest Gump? Comments. In 2001, the winner was A Beautiful Mind.
Okay.
The loser was Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring.
If you are looking at popularity, obviously Lord of the Rings is going to crush it. But if you're looking at as an Oscar film...
What does Oscar film mean?
Oscar is looking at more than just popularity.
So you're looking at cinematography?
Everything, yeah.
You're looking at acting? You're looking at effects?
Storyline.
And story.
Yeah,
okay.
Everything. Now, here's the thing. I would have gone Lord of the Rings. Because to this day, I have not seen Beautiful Mind.
Okay.
So I know who's in it, but to this day, I've never watched it because it never piqued my interest.
Now, when it comes to people knowing it, Lord of the Rings is known by everybody.
Yeah, well, a lot of people know A Beautiful Mind, too. They say it's a great movie. I just haven't watched it.
Okay, well, I'm going to say this was a flub. And I think this is either great politicking by the studios, or this was...
They didn't want to choose an epic film.
They don't want a kid's fantasy.
Well, they didn't want to choose, they wanted a down personal story to win. That's what they wanted.
Okay. In 2002, it was Chicago, which was the winner, based on the musical, or Lord of the Rings, Two Towers, which was the loser.
Lord of the Rings should have won, because I didn't really like Chicago. I much preferred the actual Broadway show. Yeah.
So you got a remake of a musical that nobody knows about.
Richard Gere, Renee Zellweger, Catherine Zeta-Jones, like good actors and everything in it. But I mean, the movie itself was not terrific. So I think it was only because I think it was, one of the first Broadway adaptations, right? So.
But we're talking about the biggest movie franchise of all time.
True, but they always frown upon big like Star Wars never won an Oscar.
Yeah, but this is... Okay, if Star Wars was going up against Chicago...
Avatar didn't even win. Like, the biggest money-making movie of all time never won an Oscar. So they always frown on those kind of movies. So I would say no, because I didn't even enjoy Chicago that much.
Okay, speaking of which, in 2009, The Hurt Locker won.
Yes.
And Avatar lost.
That was just to James Cameron. Because they gave it to his wife. His ex-wife at the time.
Well, not to mention... Oh, this is about our soldiers operating overseas.
Right around the Gulf War and all that stuff.
Avatar!
Yeah.
They had to bring out Endgame twice to try to beat the gross of Avatar, and they failed.
Yeah. And this is like back then.
We're talking revolutionary CGI.
Yeah.
and 3D technology.
Now, the story was pretty simple. A lot of people complained about that. But as far as watching a movie and enjoying it, I thoroughly enjoyed it. And, like, multi-generational people enjoyed it. Kids enjoyed it. Young people enjoyed it. Young adults, old, everybody enjoyed the movie at the time. So, yeah, that was a complete flub.
So you ask anybody if they've seen Hurt Locker, like 9 times out of 10 they're going to say Hurt Locker. I've never heard of it.
Yeah. Or, guess what? Hey, so, you know, how many Academy Awards do you think Avatar won? Well, they got Best Picture, obviously, and they think automatically that they did win because of how popular it was.
Okay, so in 2019, Parasite was the winner. We liked that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But these were the losers: Joker, Ford v Ferrari, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood should not win. Ford versus Ferrari was a very enjoyable movie. Joker, take it or leave it myself. A lot of people loved it.
I don't think you saw it in the theater.
No, I didn't.
No.
No.
Well, and you had already experienced all of the feedback for a long time before you saw it.
Yeah.
Okay, Joker, I liked Parasite.
Yes.
There's no way in
God's Green Earth?
God's green earth that Parasite should win over the Joker. It made a tiny little drama that you think, oh, it's just the Batman villain. No, tiny little drama made over $1 billion.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll agree. It should have beat Parasite. Parasite was a good movie. Really did enjoy it. I was surprised I enjoyed it.
I can
so
only
much.
think that they didn't like anything about the person who made the Joker, or they wanted for some reason to give it to a foreign film.
Well, you know, foreign films and up until that point had never won.
Yeah, so they wanted to make headlines? I don't know.
Well, don't forget, the ratings for the Oscars have been doing this.
Yeah.
So they're trying to have a global, oh look, we're global. We're global.
In 2001, it was Coda that was the winner, or Dune. Now, listen, Coda is a 2021 coming-of-age comedy drama, an English-language remake of the 2014 French-Belgian film La Famille Bélier. It stars Emilia Jones as Ruby Rossi, the child of deaf adults and only hearing member of her family, who attempts to help her family's struggling fishing business while pursuing her aspirations to become a singer.
Riveting.
Against Dune!
As I said before, they avoid epic films, franchise films, science fiction films. They always do not vote for them in the Oscars. Always.
Do you remember the scope and feeling of Dune?
Well, I guarantee you this. They don't remember Coda.
No, nobody's even seen it.
We review movies, and I do not know what he's talking about. We see a movie every single week. Plus, watch it on, like, check out every Netflix one that pops up. And every Amazon Prime. And every Disney Plus one that shows up. And I have no idea what movie he just told me won the Oscar a couple years ago.
Okay, in 2022, it was Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Great.
That was the winner.
Great movie.
Okay. The loser was Maverick.
Nope, I'm going to give it to Everything because it was so outrageously different that it caught me completely off guard, really well acted, and the story was a completely new, unusual story we haven't seen before. Maverick was a remake, great movie, loved it, absolutely watched it many, many times. Top Gun sequel, but I would say they made the right choice there.
Okay, I'm going to say they made the right choice too, and I am a Tom Cruise fanboy. I thought Maverick was meh.
Oh, I enjoyed it. It was exactly what I was hoping it would be.
In 2001, we're going to go back now because this is animation.
Okay.
In 2001, Shrek won. The loser was Monsters, Inc.
I'm okay with either one. To me, they're both on kind of par.
Okay.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah, for me it's a toss-up too. They're both great. In 2008, WALL-E won. Cars was the loser.
Yeah, you know what? As an emotional story, story-wise, Wall-E beats Cars. Fun-wise, I think Cars was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the movie. But story-wise, I'm going to give it to Wall-E for sure.
Okay, me too. In 2010, Toy Story 3 won. How to Train Your Dragon lost.
The original How to Train Your Dragon?
Yes.
See, I've seen How to Train Your Dragon. Still haven't seen Toy Story 3.
Yes, you did.
I did? Which one was
They're
that?
holding hands going into the
Nope,
incinerator.
I haven't seen that. That wasn't me. I didn't go see that one. I saw 4 with the puppets, but I didn't see that one.
A lot of people thought like the holding hands going into the incinerator was very emotional.
Yeah.
I thought it was just a man movie.
But a lot of people remember that. They talk about that scene a lot. And I don't know what they're talking about because I haven't seen it. But, you know, if it had that kind of emotional gravitas with it and that, I'll be okay with them choosing that.
Okay, here's the kicker. In 2010, the two that weren't even nominated were Megamind and Despicable Me. So how do they stack up against those other two?
As Oscar films?
As Best Animated Picture.
I enjoyed both of them actually more. Considering I didn't watch the one of them that won. And Megamind is one of my favorite. And Gru is one of my favorite characters. So I would say they flubbed it.
And they launched Minions with
Yeah.
Despicable Me.
Yeah.
Okay, I think they flubbed it. I think it's Megamind for sure.
Yeah, that would probably have been my choice.
Now, if you're going for, like, oh my god, this is the franchise of franchises, then Despicable Me should have won.
yeah.
But not the other two.
No.
In 2011, Rango won.
Okay.
Do you remember seeing that? The chameleon?
I know
thing
what
there?
it is, the Western thing there.
Okay, yeah. The losers were Kung Fu Panda 2 and Puss in Boots.
To me, all three are kind of mediocre entries.
I remember...
Any other film would have beat them any other year.
I gave Rango a red light.
Yeah. So, yeah, it shouldn't have, like, it's not an Oscar film, but it was, I guess, Oscar for Best Animation, I guess.
But I remember really liking Puss in Boots.
Puss in Boots, yeah, but I guess, all of them are eh. Like, Puss in Boots, probably out of those three, I would choose that one. Like a remake of the first one, Panda, and nah. But, yeah, I don't think that one should have won it all.
Okay, this is the last one.
Okay.
2012. The winner was Brave.
Okay.
Merida with the red hair,
Yeah, the bear
Scottish.
turned into a bear.
The loser was Wreck-It Ralph. See, I understand doing the Disney thing. Always crazy good animation, good voice acting. The story for that one was kind of,
Really dumb.
but while Wreck-It Ralph didn't have maybe the A+++ animation, it was really novel.
It was, but it wasn't a groundbreaking story of any kind or anything like
No.
that.
But it was something new.
It was where,
And interesting.
but Braveheart had the emotion between the
Not
mother. Brave had the emotion between the mother and the daughter, and that kind of thing. It had, so I can see why they went that way.
But it's the most forgotten Disney princess ever.
Pretty much, and Pocahontas goes right in there with Pocahontas.
But Wreck-It Ralph, to me, stands out among the other animated features because it's just so different.
It is different. I don't know if it. Yeah. I can see why they did it, though. I won't call it a flub, but I remember me being disappointed with that movie, Brave. Because wait, why is she a bear now? What? Wait, where's the Scottish warrior princess they promised me in the movie, right? And it turned into something completely different. So yeah, dumb.
Okay. So, like, I'm thinking you think they is a toss-up for most of them. But I think they flubbed it a lot.
Yeah, well, some of the choices, I wouldn't have voted for any of those kind of films as far as, but I guess in limited, like when when you're choosing between Kung Fu Panda 2 and you're limited in what you can nominate those years, right?
But when you're choosing Hurt Locker over Avatar,
yeah,
or anything over the Lord of the Rings movies.
Well, like I said, if you have a franchise movies that's a blockbuster, you're not going to win an Oscar. Just get it out of your head. Until maybe like the next couple years, because they're under pressure, and now they've opened up the category to nominate. That's why they go from 5 to 10 nominations now, just so they can say we're nominating those films, but we're not going to. We're definitely not going to win.
I think people are cluing in that all of these professional critics who are snooty and say, "Oh, this film is great because of the dynamics between all the mumbo jumbo,"
Yeah.
they realize that they're all full of crap now. And they're mostly paid to say stuff like that. And people just want to see good movies win.
Yeah. Now, to be fair, Everything Everywhere All at Once, had the critics not been raving about it, it wouldn't have gone to as many theaters, and we may never have seen it.
But which critics?
The critics at Cannes, when it first appeared in Cannes.
Okay, but why were they raving about it? Because it was a good movie?
It was a good movie.
Or because it was diverse and everything that they look for, and they accidentally promoted a good movie?
Well, it could be either one, but that's the reason it got spread to theaters. So, but yeah, most professional critics out there, I couldn't disagree with more most of the time. So, but yeah, I guess the Oscars are right almost half of the time.